Hey guys, it's me, Opinions by Mike, and today I'm here to tell you why Mercedes have already given up on the Constructors' Championship this year. With the new Formula 1 season underway, Red Bull has gotten off to an amazing start, with Max Verstappen claiming P1 over the 3 pre-practices and claiming pole by about 4/10 of a second. This is a huge turnaround, considering Mercedes were pretty much up almost a second over every team last season. But when you think about it closely, it actually makes a lot of sense. Since it is Honda's final season in F1, they have gone all out, so to speak, taking a no-regrets approach. They have put in heavy resources to develop the best engine possible in order to exit Formula 1 on a high. Additionally, Red Bull has also spent a lot of resources on developing their 2021 car, and have a lot of pressure in order to keep Max Verstappen, the next best thing in Formula 1, happy and content. Red Bull is under a lot of pressure this year. As I said before, this is Honda's last season in F1, so they want to leave on a high. And Red Bull needs to keep Verstappen happy because everyone knows that if they cannot develop a new car, he will leave for Mercedes as soon as he can. And that is partly why they took Perez. They need an experienced, proven driver who can support Max at the front of the grid. They cannot afford to have someone like Albon being a non-factor. Meanwhile, at Mercedes, the opposite can be said. After winning 7 Constructors and World Championships in a row with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg, they have already achieved enough and do not have the pressure to win that Red Bull has. They have no reason to win the Constructors this year, although you might say, well, they get more prize money. But with F1 implementing a budget next year, the additional prize money won will not actually make that big of a difference. Plus, the higher Mercedes place, the less time they get in the wind tunnel for next year's car. And that's exactly why I think Mercedes has already given up on this year's Constructors title. If you go back to 2014, which is the start of the hybrid era, you might be wondering, how has Mercedes been so dominant since the rule changes? Well, that's because in 2013, a year before the substantial rule changes, Mercedes sacrificed that year in terms of devoting resources towards developing their car, in order to develop next year's car, which was completely different because of the rule changes. In other words, Mercedes started to develop the car a year early at the expense of the old car, and in the end, this paid off, since they have won 7 world titles and 7 Constructors Championships in a row. And that is what I think is happening right now. With next year being the next substantial rule change year, I believe that Mercedes has sacrificed resources for this year's car in order to have a head start developing next year's car. With the budget cap and wind tunnel rules coming into effect next year, winning the Constructors instead of coming in second has no real benefit, except for pride. With Mercedes beginning to develop their new cars for next year's new rules, they are once again doing what they did in 2013 that made them very successful. I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes comes out next year and dominates the field like they did in 2013, because let me ask you this, would you rather sacrifice 1 year, which is this year, in order to dominate for the next 7 years, or would you rather potentially fight for this year's World Championship and then have the next tough 7 years because you didn't spend that time to develop your car? I would probably take the first option. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed.